and I still need to figure out who, what, where, what. It's like very similar to like Love Actually. I know how that sounds and you can be taken way out of context. That's like a very uneducated guess. And was this the best idea? No. Hi, welcome back for those who've been there before, and welcome to the ones who are new. My name is Manon, and on this channel we talk about books, about buying them, about reading them. We do reviews and we do challenges. And I have just finished, or like 2 days ago, I finished reading Cain's Jawbone. It's a wild ride. It makes zero sense. Like, you really need to read it per page because the following page makes zero sense to what you've read before. But we're gonna try to solve it. Like I've said earlier, English is not my first language, and I did not realize, well, I mean I realized, but I didn't think it through, that I was written in 1934. So did I understand every reference, every word? No. So we've underlined them. So I'm gonna try a little bit explain like how I decide to try to fix this puzzle, because I haven't really seen that many other videos, because I was like, I just want to get into this fresh, new. I don't want to get any clues. I want to either succeed or not succeed on my own. So I decided to read the whole book. I underlined all the things that I thought were clues, names, places, or words I just didn't know the meaning of. So that kind of looks like this. Alright, so I don't know if you can see it that well. Maybe, alright, this looks better. So you see it's like I underlined bits and pieces, which, let me see. Yeah, so a conformed botulist. First of all, I don't know what a botulist is. Second, why would it be confirmed? Like, it seems like a clue and a word that I don't know. West African ordeal beans, I don't know what they are, but it seems kind of out of place. Therefore, I was like, it sounds like a clue. Like I said, I underlined everything or circled around everything that I felt was important. And there are a few things that I've realized. One of the main reasons that it's like very similar to like Love Actually, in the sense that there are characters who come back and forth in different stories, because there are 6 murders, 100 pages. So you need to like realize who were murdered and who did that. Also, I think that there aren't 6 murderers. Like, I think it's less than 6. And like there are 1 or 2 like who have killed maybe 2 people, maybe 3. I don't know. I couldn't figure out, like, I just don't think that there are 6 of them. That's like a very uneducated guess. Because we're at the starting of this, trying to figure this one out. But anyways, there are definitely characters who come back in multiple stories. The main one being Henry, who is all over the book. And I think why it's like Love Actually is that you have different storylines, but there are characters who like cross into different ones, and some they have a bigger story, and others they have like a very small storyline, or just like a cameo type of thing. Therefore, I just don't think it's smart to make the list by characters, because I just don't think it's gonna work, and I think it's gonna mess up or like makes the chance of success a lot lower. So what we're gonna do, what I've realized, is that there are definitely a few different countries. I mentioned one of them plays in Paris, one of them is in Germany, I think, US. I think there are at least 2 in the UK, which also means that there's 1 left that I have no idea of. So what we're gonna do is rip all the pages out, figure out which ones have something to do with Paris, like all the other places, tape them up on the wall by country, which means that UK at least will have twice the amount than the others. And there's gonna be like 1 question mark of like, I don't know what this is, but, or where this alludes to, which could obviously be later transported into the other ones. And so we're gonna start with that. So yeah, and then I'll get back to you when we've been there, because there are a lot more clues in my brain. It's like, these are all interconnected and we need to figure it out. So stick around and I'll talk to you more about some of the clues and things that I've realized. We'll be back.
Quando ci siamo incontrati sentito qualcosa dentro di me.
Okay, so I've got the 100 pages now ripped out of the book, which sounds like blasphemy, but it's not. I feel like sometimes books call for it when you're doing a literary puzzle. I know how that sounds, and you can be taken way out of context, but this is a literary puzzle we need to solve. So I just ripped out little pages because it makes it a lot easier. Now I do need to understand, these are 100 pages, 6 murders. That comes to at around 17 pages per murder, which also means that per country we need like between the 15 and 20 pages for the murder, which is a lot more doable. I'm not gonna pay too much attention to it, but like I think it's a good goal to have. Also good to know, UK will obviously now will have twice the amount, because I think that there are 2 in there, and obviously we have the question mark, so we're gonna put on the post-its on the wall and I'm just gonna try to figure it out. This is gonna be Paris, Germany, UK, which we get 2 lines, US, and a question mark. I'll put it up as well on top of them. Okay, so these are the countries. I'm just gonna get a page and tape it to the wall, and then we'll talk about it when I'm semi-done. Okay, I have sorted through the 100 pages. As you can see, it's kind of changed up top. That's because there are a few things that I've changed and realized going through the pages. One, I think Paris on its own is not a thing. There are definitely stories that like surround France and southern Belgium. Because it does allude to some of those places in South Belgium where they do also speak French, but that's like a very small part. Then I realized that there are bits and pieces that refer to Italy, which is a whole different ballgame, and I didn't realize. And one that I thought like Germany is definitely part, I don't think that's true. I found 3 pages that allude to something in Germany, but that could also just mean something, like just be mentioned in one story. So they might belong together, but they're not like a story on its own. Then the UK, which I have a lot of pages for, more than I probably need, but I'm pretty sure that like 1 is placed in England and 1 is placed in Scotland. And I still need to figure out who, what, where, what. And then US, I don't know if there are 2 stories in the US, because that's very possible. And I'm like kind of unsure. I have realized that at least 1 storyline in the US plays itself around beans, and specifically coffee beans, I believe. So that is 1 storyline that I've come to the realization of. Now, before I did all this, I mentioned that like there are a few bits and pieces, and I think that's also like clues that I've gathered by reading it. There are a few things that I've realized. I think a lot of the stories have one common theme running throughout, like the coffee beans that are part of a US storyline, which I think is, so I think at least 4 of them have something going on with that. And that is the coffee beans, naturally. There's one they talk a lot about cigarettes and smoking, which is definitely one. Then there's one that has some odd thing with green, the color green and the spectrum of green, which I think is 1 storyline. And then we also have a storyline surrounding flowers. Like there are a lot of talk about different types of flowers and what they mean and all sorts of things, and I don't know enough about it to actually make it into one complete story. These aren't the full 100 pages. You see the question mark, which is very, very long. And then I also have like more pages that just are there. So did I make this all so much more complicated? Yes. And was this the best idea? No. I just don't know. And I think what I'm going to do is go for the ones that have like the common theme of like the green color, the flowers and everything, and then try to see if I can fit that all in one country as well. So like cross-reference. Like I feel like this is the like riddle of Einstein with the houses all over again that like takes forever to figure out. Well, not forever, but it takes a while, and you need to like, it's more like the game of elimination. It's like if this one plays there, it can't be there. Also, another very important fact, this is gonna be a very long talking segment, I'm sorry. Henry is definitely evolved in 2 murders. Like they're mentioned at a certain point that he was like, oh, these are 2 victims that he buried. Something in that sense. Don't quote me on it. And I think this also supports my theory that although there are 6 murders, they're not 6 murderers like different individuals. So maybe maybe Henry was the murderer of 2, but I'm not sure. It could also just be that this is what something has noticed. Also, very important part, there's also specifically 1 female POV in here. Like I think a majority of them are male, but there's definitely 1 female POV in the storyline, which I think plays up in the UK, in specifically the England one, I think. For right now, I'm gonna go through a lot of the read the country ones, see if there's like the common theme that comes back in it, place them together, and I'm gonna like make different piles, and hopefully it will be 6, maybe 7 piles, because the 7 pile, that will be just a question mark. Like I hope I can do that, but I feel like it will be more, and I'm just lost. So I'm gonna go read through them very quickly again, collect the piles, and then we're gonna make a start of the clues, because otherwise this video is going to be very long, and I'm definitely not going to solve it today, but we're going to have to start and have built up the basics of a system to try to solve it.
Ho sentito il vento su di me.
Oh, I'm having a complete brain fart because, oh, like the famous detective from Arthur Conan Doyle, which is Dr. Watson, and the one, it's an S. This is embarrassing. It's just embarrassing.
5 hours later.
Sherlock. Thank you. That's helpful.
Una storia d'amore.
Also, this is something I realized because I've written some notes down while I was reading it. The cover hold. Which is also something we need to discuss, is that I think the cover holds a lot of information. Okay, so you see like the cover here. On one of the notes it's like, I think at least 1 person was poisoned. And there's like poison right here. And then we have like a plant. And one was also talking about like the Queen's diamond necklace. And I also think that it is worth looking into this because, I mean, there's a gun here, so I think someone got shot. And there are a few bits and pieces of like books that suddenly do have a title, so I'll definitely look into that. And you see like someone traveling, we have a boat, we have Egypt, and honestly like smoking like a cigar, like there's one massive thing about cigarettes that keeps coming back, so I think that's also relates to it. There's a dog here, and we have a whole thing about a dog. Like, I've put a few of them already together. So I think that the cover holds a lot of clues as well and gives you more of a direction of where to go into and maybe figure out like some of the causes of like how people got murdered. So much to look into and so little time. Like I'm just gonna try to read most of them and put them in piles, and then next time, because I just don't have, like, this video is gonna be super long, so this is gonna be one parter because I do want to try to figure this out as much as I can. We're gonna do another one. We're just trying to find as many clues as possible and then maybe figure it out a little bit more, like create more storylines and maybe think in the next episode. Yeah, I'm gonna pile them under. I'll show them to you when I finished. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but like I have different piles. So I have like for like allusions to Sherlock, the color green, cigarettes, which I think is tied into some things of flower, but they're flowers themselves, and there's also people who are called flowers, and I'm pretty sure Jasmine is like a cat, like a pet. Then we have mentions to Italy, then something with the coffee beans, just US in general. Yeah, question marks, like I'm like there are a lot of clues in here and I have no idea what they mean. The pills, like one of them is poisoned for sure. Then we have mentions to Ireland, which I think ties in together with Scotland storyline, I think, but I'm not quite sure. Then we have allusions to different types of wine. I don't know if that means anything, but I'm like, you know, it's multiple pages. It makes sense to like tie in time. Again, flowers, and flowers themselves, and people with a name. This is a pile that will probably find itself into other piles. Something with parrots, which is friends. So that's what this one is, like just friends. And then all mentions of like a dog. Yeah, and then just 2K, like this is way too many pages for like 2 storylines. Like, could there be a third? Yes, but I think that there are definitely parts in here, pages in here that need to be in the US. Those are a lot of English names, and there are a lot of English names that are reused, so we'll get there. Okay, so I'm kind of gonna finish the video here because in reality I've been at this for over 2 hours. So yeah, see, this is the first episode, and if you want to be updated on the next episode or any of the other videos that I do, subscribe and also comment like, because then that will help the algorithm, and then it might bring you back to the video when the next episode comes out. I know that I didn't get to like really big aha moments, but I feel like we're on a track. I don't know if it's the right track, but we're on a track with figuring it out. Like, and the next one will look more into more clues, some that I figured out this time, some that I already knew, and we're gonna see if we can tie some clues together into one storyline. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. And up until then, happy reading!